Hi everybody, this is Alex Newton with the Kindle market trends for April 2016. So let's have a look. Let's talk a couple of highlights here in the April 2016 report, especially with an eye on sales. Let's start with the top end of the market that is dominated by literature and fiction. So in fiction, for example, we see romance sales pretty stable. You see here compared to 2014, January 2015, way back, it's been fairly stable for romance authors, and I think that's very good news. Mystery and thriller titles are on a really long-term, very slight upward trend. If we just look at the last couple of months, it's basically pretty stable up there in the bestseller lists. What is interesting and more dynamic though is science fiction and fantasy, and if we look here from October 2015 then up here to January, February, March 2016, it's a pretty steep upward trend recently here. And this trend is so much more interesting looking at the price development in parallel because, very often upward swings in sales are procured by drops in prices. But not so here in the science fiction and fantasy arena, where we've seen a real interesting long-term price trend where the prices in the top 100 titles have really been going back up here. Currently trending at around $5.25 per book. I also wanted to take the opportunity to talk about non-fiction. I know some of you are in the self-help genre. Well, unfortunately here we've seen self-help trending down after a short peak back in August, summer 2015. Now in January, February, March 2016, we see the peak has not been maintained, and so we are here on a slight decline. If you interpret the chart in a more positive way, you can say, well, okay, we're roughly back down at the level where we were a year ago. I also know there are a couple of die-hard ebook cookbook authors out there. No offense taken. I know it's easy to publish cookbooks, but sales are pretty tough there. But good news for those authors. Usually after Christmas, we see a big Christmas peak and then a big drop in sales. Interestingly, here after December, January, February, March, the sales are holding up after the Christmas period, which is very interesting. And then let's also look at two main genres, big genres in fiction, non-fiction, mixed literature. First of all, kids' books. They've been also pretty stable here after Christmas. There's always a Christmas peak, but we see the sales are holding up here and pretty stable. And if you want to look at an upward trend, then I have to offer here teen and young adult. That has been here on the rise from October 2015, November, December, and now here in early 2016. Perhaps one driving factor, the late Harry Potter that came out, and which may pull up the whole genre again a bit here. I invite you to have a closer look at the report. There is much more in there in the K-lytics basic report, looking at growth, price levels, degree of competition in each genre, average number of book pages, as well as a whole summary of the data, and the K-lytics category power index that's available for both the 30 main categories as well as for the up to 420 subcategories if you go for the K-lytics premium report. So much for today. This is Alex Newton from K-lytics, ebook market intelligence for success.